Hello, everybody. Anthony Aniano from RotoBaller Radio and RotoBaller.com with the latest in the Fantasy Baseball Preview Series for 2023, a look at the shortstop rankings and ADP analysis. Don't forget, head over to RotoBaller.com right now, sign up for our Premium Pass, use the promo code ACES, and take advantage of all the great content that RotoBaller.com has to offer, including our team sync tools, lineup optimizers, draft guides, rankings, you name it, waiver wire. RotoBaller.com has it for you. Player profiles are unbelievable this year, so make sure you go there, check those out. Everything you need right under the RotoBaller.com banner, all right? So far, hopefully, folks, you've checked out the first base, the second base, the third base videos. Today, shortstop. Taking a look at some RotoBaller rankings and some players' current ADPs. And we'll start with the elite. And there's always a few names at that level, but the player I want to concentrate on is Bobby Witt Jr. of the Kansas City. He falls right into that top tier of shortstops, along with Trey Turner, Bo Bichette, Fernando Tatis once he's healthy, and I know a little bit of a suspension at the start of the year, but I expect him to be fine. And then adding in, obviously, outfield eligibility, Francisco Lindor, Corey Seager. These guys are at the top of the food chain at the shortstop position, and Bobby Witt has kicked in the door and entered that room as well, the elite room of Major League Baseball shortstops. 22 years old. RotoBaller has him ranked as shortstop number 3, behind only Trey Turner and Bo Bichette. Currently being drafted 2.7. Okay, first tier level shortstop is Bobby Witt Jr. in only his second year in Major League Baseball. NFBC ADP currently has him as player 16. So he's going in a 12-team, round 2, in a 15-teamer, right there, first pick of the second round. Last season, hit 254 with a 294 on base percentage. There's something he can improve on, and that ties into that walk rate, that 294 OBP with a 4.7% walk rate. As he matures, becomes a little bit of even a better hitter. Okay, that gets that walk rate 7%, 8% potentially. That on-base percentage sits potentially at about 330. But last season, he did what you love in a 5x5 roto category, and that's give you 20 home runs with 30 steals. Those stolen bases were essential for me anywhere I had Bobby Witt Jr. Drove in 80 runs, had 82 runs scored, 428 slugging percentage. For a 22-year-old, I love the strikeout rate at only 21.4%. So it's all there. Power, speed, run production. The only question is, if you're in an OBP league, you want to see more walks a little bit, get that on-base percentage a little bit higher, definitely on the right side of 300. But he's there in the elite with those other shortstops I mentioned. Now, second shortstop, he's my stolen base gem, and that's Tommy Edmond of the St. Louis Cardinals, 27 years old, and this is a guy now with 10 or more home runs and 30 or more stolen bases in his last 2 seasons, including 90 or more runs scored. Grossly underrated player who all of a sudden at the end of the year, you look at the back of that baseball card and you love the production he gave you. RotoBaller has him ranked as shortstop 13. Now, I'll say this, quick pause. To me, shortstop is one of the deepest positions in fantasy baseball. It is a position you can sit and wait a little bit. Now, maybe you want the elite and you say, Anthony, I'm not waiting. I want Bobby Witt. I want Trey Turner in round 1. Totally understandable. But here's my point. Tommy Edmond ranked 13, round 9.7. So he's going middle of round 9. He's a 4th tier shortstop. NFBC ADP has him as pick 86. Batting leadoff on a Cardinal team that includes Goldschmidt and Arenado and O'Neill and a lot of depth on that team. We know this. Last season, he had 265, a 324 on base percentage. Showed just enough power to keep things interesting with 13. 57 RBIs. Out of your leadoff hitter. Not a bad number. 95 runs scored and 32 stolen bases. You're giving me 13 and 32, and I'm getting that in round 9. I'm getting that in a 12-team league as the 13th shortstop. Sign me up, ladies and gentlemen, because that means if that plays straight, Tommy Edmond is not even your shortstop. He's a middle infielder in your fantasy lineup. Slugging percentage of 400, doesn't strike out, only 17.6% of the time, and a walk rate of 7.3. Like I said, 2 seasons of over 260 batting average, 10 or more home runs, 30 or more steals, and 90 or more runs. Those are terrific numbers that you're getting outside the top tier of shortstops. My third shortstop is my sneaky home run candidate at the shortstop position, and that's Jeremy Pena, the second-year shortstop of the Houston Astros. Newsflash, Astros let Carlos Correa leave without even a concern, without even a flinch, because of what they had coming in Jeremy Pena. 25 years old, RotoBaller has him ranked as shortstop 16. That's what I'm talking about with the depth at the shortstop position for 2023. They have him listed as tier 5, being drafted in round 11 right now. NFBC ADP has him outside the top 100 players, 105. Now, he's hitting 7th in that Astros lineup. Last season, he hit 253, 289 on-base percentage. I don't like that. It's got to improve. The 289 on-base percentage tied to the 3.9% walk rate. Mature, get the walk rate up, get the on-base percentage up, similar to Bobby Witt Jr. However, I called him my sneaky home run play. Last season, 22 home runs as a rookie, 63 RBIs, 72 runs scored, and with those 22 home runs, sprinkled in 11 stolen bases. Another double-double guy. All of these shortstops I've mentioned so far are double-digit home run steal players. Bobby Witt being, with Tommy Edmond, being the best because Bobby Witt is potential 30-30. Tommy Edmond's not going to give you 20 homers. He's going to give you the 30 steals. Jeremy Pena, in my opinion, okay, when you look at 2021, when he only hit 10 home runs at AAA, comes to the majors, it's 22. And if you saw the pictures of him this spring, the guy hit the weight room hard this winter. Jeremy Pena is in a position, as he matures as a player, to crack that 25 home run plateau. Okay, 22 last year, thus the sneaky home run. 24% strikeout rate. Like I said, bring that walk rate up. It'll bring up the on-base percentage. But again, 20-plus homers, double-digit stolen bases, terrific production as the 16th ranked shortstop. Now, my next shortstop, the underrated veteran. He's been around the longest out of all the players I'm mentioning today. And that's Ahmed Rosario of the Cleveland Guardians. 27 years old, but 7 seasons in the major leagues already. Okay, RotoBaller has him ranked as shortstop 20. Round 14.8, middle of round 14, tier 5. NFBC ADP has him as player 147. Sitting second in that Cleveland Guardian lineup. Last season, he hit 283 with a 312 on-base percentage. Another shortstop that doesn't take enough walks, in my opinion, only 3.7%. However, for Rosario, what I do love is his strikeout rate went down 4%. In 2021, it was over 20%. Last season, only 16.6%. So I'm thrilled with that. Having him watching him play with the Mets, that slider low and away he used to chase all the time. He lays off that. Strikeout rate goes down. Batting average up to 283. 11 home runs, 71 RBIs, 86 runs scored, and 18 stolen bases. Consistent numbers there. Double-double again. Power, speed, and I still think there's a little more power potentially for Ahmed Rosario. There's also the ability for 20 steals. Don't underestimate the fact that the rules have changed in Major League Baseball, limiting the amount of pickoff throws. You could see an uptick in stolen bases for a player like Rosario. A 403 on base slugging percentage. 312 on base percentage. 2 straight seasons now for Ahmed Rosario where he's hit on the right side of 280 with 11 home runs and 75 runs scored. He's got 3 seasons with 18 or more stolen bases. So Ahmed Rosario, my underrated veteran. And my final player on my shortstop list. Okay, shortstop moving to second base for the Philadelphia Phillies. Second-year player Bryson Stott. Obviously moving now with the signing of Trey Turner. But what Stott did first half to second half is something to take notice of. Now, currently ranked as shortstop 27. Remember, he will gain second base eligibility at some point during the year. So as shortstop 27, you're really drafting him as potentially bench depth or a middle infield option. He's tier 6. He's going at the end of drafts in round 25. NFBC ADP has him as player 428. Last season, he had 234 with a 295 on base percentage. 10 homers, 49 RBIs, 58 runs scored, 12 stolen bases. Slugging of 358. Even though the batting average was only 234, he didn't strike out a lot, less than 20% at 19.1. Walk rate was okay at 7.7%. Now, here's what brings him to me to mention to you. Look at the splits first half to second half. As a rookie last year, he struggled mightily early in the season. First half, he hit 188. Now, he did hit 6 homers and steal 3 bases. A little bit of power shown, but a 188 batting average. Completely different player in the second half last season. Slight decrease in power, that's okay, 4 home runs. Speed uptick from 3 stolen bases in the first half to 9 in the second. So you're talking about a potential 15 to 20 stolen base guy in Bryson Stott. Batting average is the biggest improvement. His batting average first half to the second half went up almost 100 points. It went from 188 to 276. Now, this is a freebie pick. It's round 25. If it's, end of April, early May, and he's hitting 188 again, he's a droppable player for the hot hitter on the waiver wire. But in round 25, I'm willing to take the flyer on a guy who hit 276 in the second half and finished the season, again, a low-end double-double. 10 homers, 12 steals. Slight uptick potentially in year 2. Sign me up. Hitting 7th potentially in that Phillies lineup, 7th or 8th towards the bottom, maybe after Alec Bohm. Maybe he hits 8th. With all those big hitters in front of him, there will be RBI opportunities for Bryson Stott. All right? So to review, the shortstop position, the elite, Bobby Witt Jr., the stolen base gem, Tommy Edmond, the sneaky home run play in Jeremy Pena, the underrated veteran in Ahmed Rosario, and the rising up-and-comer, Bryson Stott of the Philadelphia Phillies. As always, everybody, thanks for watching right here on RotoBaller Radio. I'm Anthony Aniano. Follow me on Twitter at @AnianoFantasy, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one, folks.